Welcome back to a brand new episode of Heaven and Hell at 43. As a reminder, these are 43 love stories, 43 different stories of the way that God is impacting people with his love in very different ways, but in very real, tangible ways. And today's story is no exception. As you're going to hear Patrice tell you in her story, this is not the first story that she recorded, but this is the one that Holy Spirit nudged her to share. So I don't know very specifically who needs this story today, but if you know somebody who does need it, please do share it with them. In the meantime, though, let's hand straight over to Patrice and hear her story.
Thanks for inviting me into this. This is such a treat. I actually had another video that I made, and then I just felt like Holy Spirit highlighted something else to my spirit that I'm supposed to share. And so this is the one I think you're going to get. So I was on a short-term missions assignment in Zambia, and in Zambia, Africa. And that country still has my heart, by the way. And I had such an incredible time there. There are so many things that God did. There are so many incredible things that I was able to be a part of. But in the midst of being in a season of just incredible anxiety and coming off of a season of being depressed and bound by fear, and here I was, out here on the mission field, just feeling so, kind of defeated, but yet God was showing up powerfully with those that I went with and the leads, those that were leading that team. But at the end of that trip, one of the other leaders, the local Zambian leaders, kind of pulled me aside and spoke life into me, and then just said, you know what, God has a name for you. Like, God has a name for you. And it's Chimwemwe, which means joy. That's what I've been told. And it was so funny because isn't it just like the Lord to kind of speak, especially when we're in that place of just pain or despair or just even a funk, and he just whispers a word, or he speaks through someone prophetically, or we see a beautiful sunrise or sunset and something just confirms, to us in our spirit that we are loved and that we are seen by God. And so that's one of my favorite God stories. I reference that actually quite a bit. I've been referencing that story a lot in the recent years as God is reminding me who he calls me to be. And so that name, Chimwemwe, is a name that God calls me. And I love that he just affirmed my silliness, my playfulness, and all of that. It's with purpose, and it's on purpose. So anyhow, that is one of my favorite God stories. There's so many. There's so many. But that's one of the ones that I felt was highlighted to share with you guys and to share with you all right now. So be blessed.
As I said to Patrice when I emailed her afterwards, after watching her video, because I get to see them first, her story put the biggest smile on my face. So I hope that it made you smile too. And a big thank you to Patrice for sharing her story. It's that reminder that names are important to God. I've told you the story before of how Holy Spirit said I could call him Sam. If you haven't heard that story, tell me, and I did share it somewhere in an episode. I'll find you that link. But the important reminder that God knows you and he wants to give you a name, and that name is a reminder. We see that throughout the Bible when God changes people's names and gives them new names to reflect how he sees them and how they are to show up in the world. Now, I would love it if you would find Patrice on Instagram. Her username is TogetherGoodCo and her website is togethergoodco.com. But a big thank you to Patrice for sharing her story. And like I said at the introduction, if you know somebody who would benefit from Patrice's story, please do share it with them. And in the meantime, thank you for being here. I look forward to sharing the next story with you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.